All right, hello, folks. Thank you all that could come on here and hang out with me tonight. I am back in the house because it's like 20 degrees out in the shop tonight, and I didn't want to waste heat. And I thought I could just come in here. So if you hear background noise, beeping or hollering or screaming, it's okay. That's our house. I remember one time uh, the cops showed up at our house, and I'd been out in the shop working, and I come in to eat some breakfast, and there's two county sheriff's department showed up. It's like, we got a call that there was kids like screaming and hollering for help up here. And I was like, what? And they hadn't even got out of bed at that time. I'm like, no. I said, I was out there grinding in the shop. Y'all want to come out here and look? So I went out there and showed them what I was working on. They wanted to see all the bikes and stuff. So it's usually very noisy inside the house, but I think Mama Bear is trying to keep them all contained and quiet, and especially off their devices. So if you can hear me okay, would you give me a thumbs up? I don't know if I can see the live chats or not. I have started doing these live chats from my computer that I upgraded. And so I hope it's better for you. I know it's a lot easier for me. I don't have to set up a camera and it be all weird. It's just easier to throw up the laptop. Electric Trash Cat gave me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. So our lives we do once every month, and it's open to everybody. You don't have to be a subscriber, you don't have to be a member. It's just open to everybody. And so it's just not formatted. We just sit and talk about bikes and life and shop and wrenching and see where the conversation leads us. So I thank you for joining us. And I thank you to those that have already sent money for projects in my Cash App. Very much appreciated. On that issue, make sure when you send money through Cash App that it's Butler Customs with the $sign. You'll see my logo, this one right here. Yeah, you'll see my logo on that. So make sure of that. I don't think there's any copies or anybody trying to be me out there. I'm not, anybody popular or anything. So just be careful though, especially sending money. I would hate for somebody to get bamboozled, trying to do a good thing. So I'm up here. I'm open for questions. Where you guys at? Gals at? How's the weather there? It's cold here. And I think we got a big, where you at? Are you coming over here? I don't want to keep turning around. Oh, you're on your phone. Golly. So I think we're supposed to get a big snowstorm this next weekend. So Texas, thank you, Pokey 2006. I hope it's a little warmer there in Texas. I saw today pictures of snow in Florida down at the close. Oh, sorry about that. Down close to the beach. So that's wild. How is my audio? Do I need to increase it a little? Oh, that's mute. I think I'm seeing a little bar here, but it don't look like it's going up that much. Black Hog Garage. Hello, Kevin. Cold in Tampa Bay, Florida. No snow here yet. Good. Now wait a minute. What is cold in Florida? Like 60? I know if it gets 60 in Florida, you're probably freezing. Albert Douglas, he's in Florida, so yeah. Anytime it gets below hot down there, y'all are got your hoodies and big puffy jackets on and boggins. I'm in Kentucky, just cold here. Yes, sir. Yes, it is, Gary. Very cold there. And I'm at the stage in my life, uh, if you know, readers, and they don't help. I gotta have it like right up close for it to actually do me any good. So I'm in between. So if you see me doing this all night, sorry. It's a thing. Cold up here in Rochester, New York. I bet that is. Ooh, 29 here in Florida. 29? Wow, that is cold. Because y'all don't like winterize or anything, do you? So I bet pops are busting everywhere down there. 40s. I'm originally from Chicago, but I get cold here. I bet you didn't in Chicago. You probably just used to it. Gary, I've got my readers on, brother. Okay. Well, I'm at that. I'm almost there, but I'm not quite. Now, when I'm studying or reading, especially at night, I've got a Kindle um, Paperwhite that I read at night, and I can have all my books on there. It's just easier for me, and it's backlit, so I don't have to have a light. But I always have readers on because I've got it like right up to my nose in the bed. I always like to read before I go to sleep. I think it's good for my brain. Uh, let's see, electric trash cat. It's finally feeling like winter in West Virginia. Finally pulled my battery out of my bike to put it on a charge. Highs in the mid 30s. Yeah, I had some subscribers and members come up last week from West Virginia, and they had snow. So I don't know. You know, it always will. If we get snow here in Middle Tennessee, y'all probably gonna get it worse out toward the east, especially if it makes it over Smoky Mountains. I had to start using readers in Daytona during bike week when I was 44 years old. Well, I'm 51. I'll be 50. Am I 51? No, I'm 50. Yeah, I gotta ask my wife how old I am. What? You get further away from me. You're gonna be out in the yard before it's over. Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, I'll be 51 here next month. Well, actually, on the day the bike giveaway ends, that's my birthday. And yeah, I'm just now needing to get them. And my wife, she's younger than me, and she's using them too. So, Albert, I have a 2000 Harley Davidson change front motor mount vibration now. Yes, that would be what I would look at. You can actually, if you've got the bike upright, get start the bike and then just get your eye peepers down there and get your readers on, and you can actually see that the mount to the engine motor uh, going up and down as compared to the frame. You'll actually see the big play in it, and that's your telltale sign. With the bike off, you can usually visually inspect the rubber. It'll be cracked, it'll be smashed. It won't look right. And that's usually when you change them. So front motor mount, super easy to change. I think I got a video on changing those out. That's why a lot of people like the soft tails, hard mounted motors, rigid mounted, excuse me. So uh Pokey 2006, young buck, huh? Yeah, yeah. So our 10K bikes giveaways going on. I hope you folks enjoyed the '04 Fat Boy. Um, Black Bear that had the bike and called me about it as one of their kind of rejects. They weren't going to put it on their floor. And then a subscriber that lived by there, they called them like right after they called me, and they snatched it up and it wound up here. So I hope you enjoyed that video, but I think Black Bear dodged a bullet there. Uh, but they gave the members a sweet, sweet, sweet deal. And look, the way marketplace is getting today, I would almost rather just contact local Harley dealerships and say, "Hey, you got any old bikes that came in on a trade and you just don't want to mess with?" And especially carbureted bikes, man, you can snatch them up like that. You'll be surprised at the deals you can get, and they always come with the title. So you ain't got to worry about somebody saying it's got a title, and you get home with it, and it's you check, and the VIN's all crazy, don't match up. You don't really have to worry about that from Harley. So Marketplace is as bad now as Craigslist was back 20 years ago, and so it's a lot less headache, and you can get some pretty good deals because they're not going to put it on their showroom, and they're not going to fix it. So you can get some really good mechanic specials like that. And you saw on the '04 Fat Boy, we did a lot of wiring on it. I did find a new rear LED brake light. And one of you sharp-eyed folks that watched the video commented that it looks like a couple of LED bulbs are out in that light. I think that light was giving a lot of issues to the wiring and the way I pulled the fuse out and it worked. That's not right. So I've got a new one that my son-in-law found in the shop. I knew I had one in there. So we're gonna, when we get the '04 Fat Boy back on the lift, we're gonna do that and put the light in. I got the cam chain tensioner shoes in. Well, no, they're not in yet. Um, but I went with the really good tensioners. So these tensioners last 4 or 5 times longer than the stock ones. And if I'm going in there, I'm replacing them with the best tensioners you can. We got a good V-twin adjustable push rod kit, so we're going to be going in there and clipping the stock push rods, the solid push rods, and installing adjustables. We got new Timken cam bearings as well we're going to be putting in. So we're going to be having a lot of fun inspecting the cam, inspecting the lifters, all that fun stuff. So we will not be going in the top on the '04 Fat Boy. We will be bolt cutting the push rods. I've never done a video on that, so you'll get to see that. Oh, $5. I got the same issue on my '06 Sportster. Will it cause a problem if I ignore it? Well, thank you, CT Snyder, for 88 for that. Well, and I can heart it right there for that donation. I really, really appreciate it. So let me back up here. So anyway, the '04 Fat Boy will be out not this Friday, but probably next Friday. What you'll see this coming Friday is, remember the 2015 Ultra Classic Limited and Lowboy? Well, the customer finally got in the Screaming Eagle push rods for twin cams, not for the M8. So we put that on. You'll be seeing that this Friday, and you are going to be amazed at the difference between the M8 push rods and the twin cam push rods. I knew they had different part numbers for a reason, and so that's what you'll be seeing this Friday. It turned out to be a really cool comparison of M8 and twin cams. I'll tell you this right now: do not put M8 push rods in your twin cam. Oh, you're going to see in the video. Then after that, there's I think a 1995 that I'm starting on tomorrow, anniversary edition, Electra Glide. Yeah, I think, or Ultra maybe, that I'm starting on. It's got an issue of about 3,500 RPMs. It starts bogging down, cutting out, having some issues. So we're going to be filming on that starting tomorrow. That'll be that next Friday. So I'm saying all that to say this: you might not see the Fat Boy for 1, 2, 3 Fridays from now. Okay. Of course, if you're members, you'll see them either on that Monday or Tuesday before. All right, let me back up because I saw some questions here, and I don't want to miss them. Have I missed anything, babe? Okay. You want to come say hi? Just poke it in a minute. Okay. She's picking her nose right now. Just kidding. Da, 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 da. All right. Let's see. Okay. I have a 2000. Oh, where'd it go? I have a 2000 Harley Davidson chain front mounts. Okay. We talked about that. Hello, Mr. Baker. Oh, okay. Greetings, everyone. Hey, Second Chance is on here. Thank you, Second Chance, for stopping by. Appreciate it. Oops, Butler. That's fine. I'll be here watching. Blessings. I bet it's cold up there in Minnesota. Oh, and Second Chance, the hoodies. I've got your wife's hoodie. I'll be mailing it off not tomorrow because it's Martin Luther King Day, but Tuesday. And the reason it took so long, the hoodies that you have that I love, they no longer offer those. And it was out of stock. And I called them. They said, well, it might be in stock in a couple of weeks. So I waited. Never got back in stock. They said they don't know when it's going to be. So I decided to go with a different brand. What are these? Gildens? Hanes. So these are Hanes, and I bought one for myself just to test out. That's what I got on right now, and they're comfortable. They're really warm. I'm about to sweat up here. Um, so if you know, I don't know if it'll be as good quality or lasting or not as the old ones. I'm trying to locate who carries the old ones and just buy a bunch of them and be done with that. So, all right. So I'm here now. Was working out in the yard pulling weeds. Rick, pulling weeds. You must be in a warm place to be outside pulling weeds. Ooh. Only thing I'm pulling outside right now is my pants up because it's cold. Pokey 2006 Road King. Key switch works when I jiggle it. Yep. Otherwise, and my bike won't. Uh, otherwise, or my bike won't start. What do I look for first? That is easy. Replace the key switch. Those cylinders in there, they just get wore out and they won't snap properly and connect properly. And just, it's a plug. You just pull it out, swap it out. There come with new keys, of course, or sometimes if people want to keep their keys, they can take the old key cylinder out, take it to a locksmith, and they will cut a new key, or they will swap that cylinder out and put in your new key switch if it's got a key on it. Yeah. So now I understand the question. I got the same issue on my '06 Sportster. What will cause a problem if I ignore it? Will it cause a problem if I ignore it? If you're talking about the key switch, CTS or CT Snyder, yes, you want to address that because understand constant power is in that key switch. So that key switch goes right from the key switch back to a circuit breaker or fuse, depending on your year, and then right to the battery. So it's constant hot. That's why when you turn the key, it jumps the hot to whatever key position you've got it in. So if those start giving you trouble, definitely replace those immediately. Uh, Anything is a problem if you ignore it. Yeah, especially on a Harley. And understand, Harleys vibrate. That's one of the cool things about Harleys. They vibrate. And so things just get loose, things get wore in that vibration. That's just a Harley way. It's a Harley thing. But nothing in the world rides like a Harley. Mm, you might differ from me, but Henry Taylor, thanks so much for your easy to follow videos. Just finishing rocker box gaskets, and next is the sloppy shift arm shaft. Ooh, splines on the tranny on my 98 Evo LHR. Hopefully the tranny shaft is okay. Yeah, let's hope that, because if not, that's a big job. It's a big job. So appreciate that. Thank you for your kind words. I'm a slow talker. I'm sorry. I went back and watched the video from Friday. Gosh, I talk slow. I apologize. I'm trying to work on that and get a little bit faster. Grumpy, uh, Grumpy vet. Have to watch later. Have a great night. All stay warm. Thank you, Grumpy. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Okay, I got a LOL. Thank you. If you're laughing at me or laughing with me, it don't matter. It don't matter. All right, Michael says, I have a 90 FXR. Yes, yeah, with S&S E Shorty. Nice. With big bore. Woo. With S&S crankshaft. Not what? Thunderjet. Just wondering what size jets have you come across that were in past bikes you worked on? Well, all various type of jets. And I'll tell you this, it's not textbook. You could have one bike that has the same carb as another bike, same pipes, same everything. But I don't know, some carbs, even though they're the same model and same brand and manufacturer, they'll require different size jetting. So You just got to play with it. I always, when you buy jets, buy a variety of sizes. Usually there'll be a jet kit and they'll come with a variety of auto jets, a variety of main jets, pilot jets. So you just really got to play around with it until you've got a good idle. And I wouldn't worry so much with idle because you can really kind of adjust that outside of the carb, but especially roll off on your throttle, mid throttle, and then wide open throttle. That's the mid throttles are usually where people um, have to play with to get right. You just want a response that's consistent, no matter where you're at on that throttle. And so that's why jet kits come with a variety of jets, and you just got to play around with every carb, even if it's the same carb from the same manufacturer, will sometimes be different. But that's a nice setup you got there. Oh, I was referring to the motor mounts. Yeah, you definitely want to change those motor mounts if you're seeing an issue with it. Um, I've seen broken intakes um, or the carbs just shaking so much, and they got that big air breather on there with the pointy spike, looks like a tobacco spike on the end of it, and they're so heavy. I've seen those mounts break off, um, and then it's really bad on the back end where your motor is mounted on the back because you got all that front of your motor jumping up. Well, the back has nowhere to go, and so it can really cause a lot of problems. But yes, I would change those motor mounts as well if you're seeing an issue with it. And they're not expensive and they're not hard to do. Not hard to do. Okay. Second chance, no problem. Can't wait to get it to her. They're a little big, but my wife says once she washes it, it'll be smaller. Maybe you gonna come say hi? Oh, she's moving. She's sitting in the floor monitoring questions in case I missed one. Yep. uh, Slow is good. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Evening, everyone. Want some snow? It's free. What? Free snow? Well, I guess you're sending it this way because we're supposed to get it this weekend. Frozen Florida checking in. Yeah, somebody from Florida earlier said it was like 29 there. No, I think it's less than that. That's got to be cold. Hello from Florida. Electric Trash Cat. Hey, Kevin. In one of your recent videos, you went over dog bone torque adapters. Is there any specific brand you recommend? They're kind of expensive. They are. Um, I have, okay, the set that I have, and somebody sent me an email about them not long ago. They're Snap-ons, and then I got a couple of Matcos. They were given to me. Sometimes when I first started out wrenching on bikes as a business, I bartered a lot. And so I didn't go get business loans. It started as a hobby, turned into a business. And so I would barter a lot so that I could, if they were car mechanics, that's how I got my torque wrenches that I had before, these nice AC Delcos that I bought. The dog bones come from that, a whole set of Silver Point wrenches. So I would barter quite a bit, especially for tools and tool carts and things like that for work. So I didn't pay for those. Those are the only ones that I've used. I've looked on Amazon because I got an email about it, I think a couple of days ago, and they're all just brands I've never heard of. So I don't know. I mean, I would suggest if you're going to get an off brand, get 12 point. They're less likely to snap on you or break off or round off. The thing I would worry about is rounding off a bolt head, especially if you're going to use a bone. It's usually to torque, and you know, maybe if there's a couple sizes like a half inch and a 9/16 that you're going to just always use, maybe just buy those two. Maybe try looking on Marketplace or something, but they are expensive. I've looked them up. I'm like, yikes, they're expensive. All right. I was hoping you didn't say I needed to replace them. Yes, you got to replace those motor mounts. It's really bad on everything vibrating excessively. But they're not hard to do. And I think, if I remember right, I think you said you were on a Sportster. Yeah. So not hard to do on a Sportster, and definitely needs it if you got it. PG 981. Bought jets from Amazon and CV Performance and took a few changes and combinations after cam and lifter change on my 98 Road King. Well, I'm glad you got it figured out, but yeah, that's what you got to do. You just got to play with them jets until you get it where um, it's great throttle response no matter where you're at in the throttle pool. And as far as idle, you can always change the idle from the outside. So yeah, I'm glad you got it worked out. But it is a song and dance kind of thing. You got to play with it, and then it can be a pain. But now understand, if you're dealing with something like a S&S, oftentimes you never pull the carb off. You just drop the bowl, and you can change the jets and try different jets. Up underneath. So uh, you could probably do that on a CV carb too. Without pulling the carb off, just drop the bowl, change the jets, put it back. I would suggest, if you're going to get a jet kit and do that and keep taking the bowl on and off, go ahead and get you probably a couple of float bowl gaskets, because taking it on and off so many times, you might need to swap that gasket out. Uh, so, uh, what is that? Deuce Village? Something. Villegas? I like your videos and will be following them as best I can. My sister passed. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Saturday after Christmas. Oh, sorry to hear that. She left me her 94 Sportster and her husband's 94 Road King. Have not been used in years. Well, that'll be a fun project to get them running. And I'm certain it's something you'll cherish and keep and remember them while you're riding. Yeah, that's a good project. Good evening. I laugh at all of you. That's good. You'll fit right in here. Good to have you. I have a question. It might hurt your brain about, oh, TSM replacement. Ooh. Well, it really depends on the year. Um, hmm. Some are easier to find to replace, some are not. So, it's just, it really just all depends on the year. Let me look up something real quick, and Mike can help you out. Um, yeah. Now, I ran into an issue. I can't remember what year bike it was, but they had a TSM, and it actually had the security on the bike in the TSM, and I had to. There were two TSMs offered in that model year, one for security and one without security. So he had the one with the security, and you can't just swap another one because the motorcycle was married to that TSM. So they don't make the original ones without the security in that model that I was looking for in that year. I found one on eBay used, and I snatched it up. It's like hen's teeth. And then I plugged it in, and you have to do a reset code to where the ECM learns the TSM, and it worked. And so he went from having a security bike to not having security anymore, and then the bike would start and run. So it really depends on your year and your model, because some, it's a turn signal module, and if that's all it did, that's great. You could bypass that. But they married it with so many, it controls so many other different things in certain models and years that you just can't yank it out without, doing a lot of bypassing to get the bike to run. Of course, the older the bike, the easier to bypass. But that's an issue I ran in with the TSM that had a security, and the VIN married to that. Trying to save the guy from having to take it to Harley and do that. But even if he took it to Harley, they don't have they don't have the original TSM in stock without the security to do that. So I'm glad it worked out, but they're rare to find. If you got one, you could sell it for $400 or $500, no doubt. Uh, I have an '06 Fat Boy, and there is no clear walkthrough or information if you can use a TSM to replace a TSSM without programming. Uh, you can. If Okay, go to a Harley microfinch. Most of your Harley websites, the dealership websites, will have those. I use one called Ronnie's Harley Davidson. I think it's out of Pennsylvania, but they have an online microfinch that gives exploded views and a list of all the parts and the part numbers. So that's where I go to find a lot of my part numbers, and then I'll call local Harleys and say, "Hey, do you have this part number?" Makes it easier on them, and I know I'm getting the exact right thing. I don't have to have somebody at Harley looking it up. And so in that bike, it showed two different TSMs. And so I was able then to get the part number for the one that didn't have security. And then I was able to marry it by doing the reset and stuff um, process, and it worked. And I was very happy with that, because it's always a gamble, And I bought a used TSM on eBay. I didn't know if it worked or not, but it worked good. He was very happy. Saved him a lot of money. So it can be done depending on your year and what they offered. I swapped out the CV carb bowl screws for socket head cap screws. Good swap. Good swap. Yeah, Allen head bolts and screws for the carb bowl is always a win. Always a win. Thank you. I would like to pass the Sportster on to one of my daughters. Oh, that would be sweet. That would be good. Now they make a TSM replacement that's not OEM. They now make a TSM replacement that's not OEM. Yeah, there's a lot of companies that make aftermarket ones. So um, I don't know of any like brands. It's not something that I do a lot of. So most of original stock wiring, if I'm going to chopper wire a bike or something, it's all coming out anyway. It's all coming out. But now, the problem with some of the newer bikes is you just can't run 4 or 5 wires in a bike. You got to have, everything's electronic, and one thing controls 15 other things, and uh, it's a big, big mess. Got the Screaming Eagle big bore kit. Nice, for my '05 Dyna twin cam. First time installing one. Now, I've done a lot of S&S big bore kits. I like their instructions. They're really nice to follow and really good quality. I don't Screaming Eagle. It's been a long time since I put one in, but I think they have pretty good instructions too. And understand, Screaming Eagle is Harley deal, so their instructions are quite like looking at a Harley manual. That Screaming Eagle push rod kit that I just put in the twin cam, the 2015 twin cam, the instructions were, very similar to a Harley manual. It's pretty neat. Yeah, Custom Dynamics makes a TSM, TSSM replacement that just came out. Yeah, Custom Dynamics has been in the turn signal business for years and years and years. It's 350. That's probably a good deal. Just Like I said, go to a microfinch, see if they offer those two different models and modes, one security, one not for your bike. If they do, write down the part number for the non-security one and try that. You can program it yourself by resetting it. It's a process where I don't know, you turn the key on with it in the run position for like 10 minutes, turn it off, turn it on for 10 more minutes, turn it off, turn it on for 10 more minutes, start the bike. I don't want to tell you wrong, but it's a process I remember having to do. I've got it written down somewhere so I can find it for you if you need it, if that if that'll work for you. But it's got to be the right product number. It's got to be the right. Okay, I have the book to do it. Perfect. You on the right track then. Wonderful. So we got a lot of videos coming up. I think I'm pretty much scheduled out video wise till almost April. So I got them on. Oh, another cup. Wow. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you, babe. So I think, what are you playing a game? It was an ad on here. Oh, so yeah, we're lined up video wise till right at the 1st of April, and they're pretty much all Harleys. So, let's see. There's a 95 anniversary. We're going to get the '04 Fat Boy back on. You'll see the 2015 um, Ultra Classic Low this Friday. We've got I guess we're going to do a 25K bike giveaway, maybe if this 10K bike giveaway goes pretty quick. And gosh, okay, let me explain something about the 10K bike giveaway because people have lost their minds about how to enter in. Look, that was the cheapest and the easiest way that we could verify you are a human is by asking you to mail in a postcard to the rules and regulation box that they set up, the PO box. Next time when we do a 25K giveaway, hopefully, we're going to do it better. Hopefully, make it easier for you. Maybe something you can just fill out online. I used to kind of bash about how all these content creators would have you go to their website and buy something. Well, I discovered why. It's largely to verify that you're human and it's got your address and all the info that you put in to get the stuff shipped to you. They already have, and so they enter you in. So maybe I was talking to my wife about it. Maybe we could just put a product on our website that is free. You don't actually get it, but it's free. So it wouldn't charge you anything, but we would have your information. Maybe that's an easier way to do it. I don't know. We're brainstorming, but 25K, it's probably a long, long ways away. We've been doing good though. You guys have been very, very good to us, and channel's growing, and we're almost now at 11,000. No, at 12,000 right now. I think we're like 150 away from that. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. My question is, if I have the TSSM, can I change to the TSM without programming? No, you can't. No, you got to reprogram it. But I think uh, you can reprogram it yourself by just doing the on and off thing. Busted Knuckle Motorcycle. Wish I had videos out that far. Well, you should see the shop. We had how many bikes come up last week? 3, 4. I got one coming tomorrow, and no, 2 coming tomorrow. And so I got to get rid of some stuff. I'm running out of room. So the race car is getting sold. I got to have the room. I'm moving all the stuff out of the shop that's parts and putting it in the room that's behind the shop that's attached to the shop that cutting a door so I can get in there, organizing it. I just got to have more room. Um, and there's one, two, three or four projects that, the customers just, I'm waiting on them money wise. And at this point, I just need the room. It might be something that I just say, hey, just, you know, come get the bike and bring it back maybe when you're ready, when got the money for all the parts and stuff, and we can work something out. So I don't know, but yeah, I've got a lot of stuff scheduled out. I actually had to get a whiteboard and start writing the times of videos coming out and what I'm filming. I've really started trying my best to film 2 bikes a week and trying to get ahead. So that way, when I go on vacation with my family, or if I go to take a trip somewhere for an event, I'm not worried about missing a Friday video, and you guys get to see a Friday video. That's not just something slapped together. So uh, there is none too little info on that. I just thought I would ask. Yeah, I've done it before. Um, so just email me, Butler Customs motorcycleshop.com, and I can tell you the process. I can look it up for you. I just got here. What bike did the TSM come out of? I've had issues with my '07 Softail Deluxe. I think he had an '06. I can't remember what bike I had. Busted Knuckle Motorcycle. Subscribed. Oh, thank you. Yes. Awesome. I have an '05 Super Glide. Nice. And getting time to change the tensioners. What do you think about upgrading OEM type, hydraulic or gear drive? Okay. Gear drive, you would have to check the runout on your shaft to make sure that you could run gear drives. So just do that before you order them. I personally, I don't, the chains are fine with me. I've installed both gears and chains, and I don't know if I can tell a difference. So I would just run OEM chain. Um, so that's what I would do. Now, if you're talking about changing out the oil pump and the cam plate for the new style that's got the hydraulic tensioners, then I would do that and get away from the spring tensioners. That's a good upgrade, especially if you're going to keep the bike. Harley discontinued the TSM after '06 and makes a different one for the '07 and up. Now, that's what you're going to find. Question for you. Rick says, now that there are a lot more subscribers, do you think you will have another subscribers bike show? You know what? I'm glad you asked that, Rick, because me and my family, had so much fun, especially them judging. And I mean, it would become a brawl in our house because I let them judge. And whoever they picked won. And they had to, they were downloading apps to see, to rank them and all this. And my wife said, we need to do this every year. So, yes, it's something that's going to be a once a year thing, an online bike show. And it will be coming up in June 28th. So, be looking around June. Of course, I'll promote it long before then. But yeah, it's something we're going to try to do every year. So, that was fun. Yeah, good question. All right, John Pearson, thanks. Right, that's exactly what I found out. Custom Dynamics, yep, they make a variety of turn signal TSMs and stuff. A few years back, there was a place over in Mount Juliet, that's close to us, that rented stalls to build or repair bikes. Huh. They furnished some tools and also stored your project when you weren't working on it. Well, I didn't know that. That was in Mount Juliet. You ever heard of that? I didn't either. That's a neat idea. Unfortunately, I've become an authority about TSMs. That's not anything to brag about, is it? Ooh. Top of the evening, Kevin. Waving a hand from East Texas. Thank you, James Conn, for stopping in and saying hi. There's also a video on the aftermarket TSMs by Custom Dynamics. Yeah. Would like to see you do a carb to EFI conversion. Hmm. Now, wait a minute. Do you mean an EFI to a carb or a carb to an EFI? Let me know. I'm sure you did. That's a shame when your bike is down over a little thing like that. Uh, I laugh at all of you. Yeah, I'm in California. We have the Long Beach Motorcycle Swap Meet, which is when the biggest swap meets every month. It's also hard to find any parts have to do with the transit like that. Yeah, swap meets might be a good play, but really, I mean, they're so rare. The non-security ones, the TSMs, they're so rare. It's hard to find. I just happened to find one. It was the only one I could find online anywhere. I'll take it back. There was one in England, and it was going to cost like $1,000 to get here. And it so happened there was one there on eBay here, not far from here actually, and it worked out good. Oh yeah, a carb to EFI conversion, huh? Yeah, that would be a good video. I mean, next time I get one in, I don't really go out looking for things to do. We just shoot and film on whatever shows up. But now also, I do like buying projects and seeing what we can do with it and making it our own and then getting it on the road to somebody. I do like that. And want to start doing more of that this year. Now, also, I've got a bike coming up that's a Softail that's getting a total makeover. So fenders, tank, a bunch of stuff, bars, wiring, a total strip down to frame and motor and build back up. So we're going to do that together. That's going to be fun. And it's a very special bike in our family. So you'll enjoy that. Do you do anything with the Triumph? I still have the Triumph and I have got to order the new set of electronic points for it. I think that's the issue. But the parts for that Triumph are just so expensive. I don't want to just throw money at it, but I think I've narrowed it down to that. But I do want to get the Triumph back on. I have decided I'm just going to put it back together close to stock as I can and then pass it on down the road to somebody that likes to enjoy it. I do want to ride it because I've heard that they sound awesome and they ride awesome. So I do want to ride it. So yes, I still do have the Triumph, and we are going to get it back this year on the lift and get it done. All right. I want to convert my buddy Sporty to EFI. That's why I asked. Okay, so from a carb to an EFI, yeah, you can do that pretty easy, depending on the year of the bike, and but you will have to probably change the tank or do a lot of fabbing to the tank for the EFI fuel management. The intake, that's easy to change, just the intake housing. And then, of course, the system to run it and to tell the injectors when to fire. So, depending on the year of the bike, yeah, you can do that. No, not a problem at all. Um, Carport Customs, what year is that Sporty, if you don't mind me asking? All right. Wow. Okay. I just saw the timer. We've been on here for 50 minutes, 46 Publix. Awesome. Very good. Is there any bikes that I forgot that I didn't mention? Oh, about future videos coming up. Oh, the 25K, it's a hardtail Sportster, and we're going to do just a down and dirty budget build on that. How cheap can we get the thing on the road? It's basically a roller frame with the motor just ratchet strapped in there at the moment. So it's bare bones, but how cheap can we make it rideable, reliable, and fun? So we're going to do that. Okay. So the Sporty is an '05 um, 1200. Yes. So you can convert that over. They were making fuel injections for Sporties at that year. So you would just have to find the guts to do that and swap that over. And of course, your injectors, your throttle body, your intake, and the tank is going to be your big thing. It would probably be more economical to find a fuel injected tank and do that. You'll have to have lines and all that, but it can be done. Love the content. Going to be working on a carved 96 Fat Boy soon. Your videos are quite helpful. Well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Tea bags for fun. EFI is controlled by the PCM, correct? Well, it depends on the bike. You got PCMs, ECMs, um, all kinds of M&Ms in there. It really depends on the year of the EFI. EFIs went through a lot of changes over the years. They started with the M&Ms, the macaronis. They were, you know, if you left the bike alone in stock, they were fine. When we started changing things, even small as pipes, you got in trouble with them. And then the Delphi, and so the EFIs have changed a lot. It really depends on the year of the bike, but they did offer those in '05, and I think they were Delphi in '05, so you should be good to change all that over. In Arizona, Superstition Harley Davidson in Apache Junction has a motorcycle swap meet at least once a month. Oh, every month. That's cool. Oh, look, I got a new basic member. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining up. That's wonderful. Also, the Harley dealership that had the '04 Fat Boy that our members or subscribers picked up and brought to me, they reached out to me today, and we're trying to work on getting me up there to their dealership, meeting all the fine folks there, and possibly collabing on a video there at Black Bear Harley. So I was excited about that. I'm like, cool. And my wife was excited because you got to pass through the mountains to go there. So she's like, can we make it a kind of a couples thing? Yeah, maybe. So that's going to be fun. So I'll let you know more about that as that develops. The M&M EFIs were so bad. If you sneeze near the air cleaner, it would adjust the idle time. you know, I've always had good luck with them, and there was one that was giving me fits, but I think we shot a video on rebuilding it and worked fine. My dad's Road King trike is M&M, and he loves it, and it purrs like a kitten. So, but of course, it's pretty much stock as well. What cam chain tensioner tools do you use? And do you think the ones from Amazon or the cheaper ones are okay to use to do that? Do not. Um, I wouldn't buy the cheap tools. Um, they can get you in trouble pretty quick. The tool could break. Then what are you going to do? You're not going to buy another cheap tool. You're probably going to then invest in the right tool. Now, I wouldn't go so far as to buy a gems because that's like, whew, them like Cadillac prices. But a V twin usually offers some really good tools. Now, I did buy a new tool that we're going to be using in the '04 Fat Boy, and it is the cam chain tensioner tool that you can use that you don't have to take the cams out of the cam plate. So I've never showed you that. I've always taken the cams out of the cam plate to get that inner tensioner out. And I thought, well, I'll show you how to do it without taking the cams out. And we'll just inspect the bearings in there. And if they're fine, then that's great. So you will see that new tool coming up soon. And that's the reason I bought it. And I think I bought it, it was a V twin, and I bought it off Dennis Kirk, I believe. And it was maybe 40 bucks, 50 bucks. So, I mean, yeah, you can buy an Amazon one for what, 25, but buy you a good tool. I got the tool in, it's good, thick quality, it's welded good. So I would feel confident using it. So be careful with the cheaper tools for doing internal motor work, because that's the most important. If you don't get that right, you could destroy a motor. Now, if you're doing something outside of the bike or cosmetic wise, you know, use some cheap tools. But when it comes to internal motor work, I would just invest in some good tools. And the good thing about a good tool is that you got it. Once you take the hit on the front end, it'll make its money back because you have confidence in it. You don't worry about it breaking. You know it's not going to destroy anything that you're trying to fix. And it's just a peace of mind that I like to have. But now you don't have to go crazy. I think the Jim's tensioner tool is like, $100 something. So I kind of hid in the middle with the V twin one, and it looks like a good quality tool. And I'll be using it for the first time when we get the '04 Fat Boy back on the lift. So we're changing out those tensioners. You probably saw in the video that inner tensioner. Ooh, it was time. And I haven't talked to the original owner of it yet, but I hope to. And I bet you they changed the tensioners, but put stock ones in. And 25,000 miles later, they're out again. So I went with the really good Psycho tensioners. And you know what? They were $10 more than stock tensioners. That's it. So, second chance. I really like my EFI Sporty. Yeah, Sporties are dependable. I'll tell you that. So you don't suggest replacing the bearing with the Timken while you have it. A part, a part of a replacing the can play maybe. So you don't just replace. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were just talking about the tensioners. Yeah. No. Anytime I'm replacing tensioners and I don't know the history of the bike, I just go ahead and replace the bearings as well, the cam bearings. So yeah, we will be replacing the cam bearings. The tool that I have to replace cam bearings, I did buy on Amazon, but I read the reviews. It's a good thick quality, and I've never had an issue. And I've replaced, you know, probably 100 cam bearings with it. So yes, but read the reviews and make sure it's not junk. Gosh, if you get a James cam bearing puller and installer, oh man, I think they're $200-300. This one I got was I think 50. I think I got it on my Amazon store. The one everything on my Amazon store I use. So I would never put anything on my store that I don't use. So you can go to my store. That's exactly the tools I use. And if something breaks on me or is a low quality, I'll immediately take it off my store. I think I did that on something, and I took it off my store, and so you can. So I apologize for some of the wording. I'm using the voice to say most of what I'm saying here, and some of it comes out wrong. I think a great video would be you showing some of the tools that you use for specific jobs, including the cam jobs. And I would appreciate seeing everything you use to do that. Okay, well then hang tight because on the '04 Fat Boy, when we get it back on the lift, probably not this coming Friday, but next Friday, you'll probably see that. We're doing a cam job, a cam bearing change, cam tensioner change. We're doing all that. We're doing adjustable push rods. We're cutting the stock push rods. So we'll be doing all that. You'll be coming along with us if you hang out. All right. So I want to hang out right here just for a minute because my wife says I always jump off and don't give you time to ask questions. There's a lag, she says. Well, there's always a lag with me. I feel like I'm forgetting to say something that I wanted to say, and I should have wrote some notes down. We talked about the giveaway, talked about upcoming videos. I can't remember. Can't remember. So I laugh at all of you when we do that '04 Fat Boy. You'll see all the tools that I use, and we'll even be trying that new tensioner tool that makes it easy to get that inside tensioner, that inner tensioner out without pulling the cams out of the cam plate. So that'll be nice. And I will try to write down the price of what I paid for all the parts, or the current price of what I paid for all the parts and all of the tools. So that way you got a good idea of maybe what it's going to cost you if you have to buy some of the things. And I'll be sure to state where you can buy them at. Uh, PCO Bob, hello, PCO Bob. You're the '04 you're working on right now is comparable to my '06 in most parts. So I will be watching the video. Yeah. Um, you have an '06. What do you have? '06 Road King? So in '06, Harley changed to hydraulic tensioners in the Dyna models. They kind of tested it out. And then in '07, all twin cams went to hydraulics. And that was a great move. So, yes, if you have a touring bike that is, or a Softail that is '06 to '99, you have spring tensioners, unless somebody has upgraded the cam plate to the new style with the hydraulics. So yeah, you'll have the same motor that you're going to see me do all that work on the '04 Fat Boy. Joe Knight, I wish I could join in this conversation, but cannot find these parts on my old hardtail shovel. Yeah, I hear you. I feel that. I feel that. All right. Okay, I currently have a storage right now with a motorcycle lift, and the motorcycle sitting there, and I will soon be making it run and replacing the parts that need to be changed. Awesome. Good project. Sounds like a fun time. Sounds like a fun time. So before I hop off here, um, I just want to let you know on my website, I've added a tab called events that I'm going to be attending. So if you know of a good event that you're like, man, you got to be here, you got to be at this, send me an email and let me know, or send me a comment on one of my videos. I try to respond to each and every comment. So if it's something that I can do, I'd love to be there. I'm going to try to do more events this year. I want to try to do us just buying more fixer uppers and getting them, into the hands of somebody that will enjoy it. So, I got a lot of plans for this year coming up. I did upgrade the computer. I'm using DaVinci Resolve now, which I think has helped me tremendously in my editing. It's cut my editing time down to half. It really has. I have got my eyeballs on a camera and all the gear, so hopefully the quality will be good. Because I hate when I go back to edit and I zoom in the editing to get up close to show you something, how grainy it looks. I can't do nothing about that because I'm still shooting with a GoPro. So I want to keep the GoPro and use it on when I'm out test driving. And for our members in the summer, I do just Saturday rides in the group, and I've usually filmed that. So I'll be doing a lot more of that with my GoPro. But I got my eyeballs on a nice Sony FX30 or FX3, depending on my budget, that I'm going to get for the shop to do our videos with. So hopefully the zooming in will be crystal clear. I think they shoot even in 6K, which means you can set on the moon surface and see what I'm doing in the shop. I don't know about all that stuff. Um, so I have an '06 Road King and have already upgraded my cam chain tensioners. Awesome. Good. 83K now. Oh, that's awesome. That's a well-ridden bike there. Dale. So I just did chain tensioners on my '99 Road King. I ended up using stock tensioners, but watching your last video, you mentioned a better brand that you prefer to use. What kind are they? They're called Cyco, CYCO. Um, and the company is Cyco Gaskets. And be careful. Don't buy Cyco shoes, tensioner shoes, off eBay or off Amazon. Go to their website, Cyco Gaskets, and purchase them there because you're getting genuine Cyco tensioners. They're yellow, easy to spot, and they last 5 times longer. So that's what we're going to put in the '04 Fat Boy. I didn't want to get a mid-grade tensioner on that, so that's what I decided to go on that. Now on the push rod, adjustable push rods, we went with V-twin, which are not low end, cheap, but they're not screaming eagle end, S&S end either. They're right in the middle. They're really good push rods. We're going to keep the lifters in there if the lifters look okay, and we're going to keep the cams in there if the cams look okay. And I, of course, went with Timken uh, cam bearings. I think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that Toco bought out Timken, or Timken bought out Toco, one of the two. But anytime I've ordered uh, Toco bearings, Timkins show up. It's a Timken box. So I think they're the same now. So that's good. But made in the USA bearings, they're really good bearings, really good roller bearings. So that's what I prefer, the Cyco, CYCO tensioners. Now you'll find that they come with just the shoes. So we will be taking the shoes, the old shoes out of the springs and putting new shoes with a pin in the original springs. And that's fine to do. Sometimes I like to replace just the whole spring and everything, but that was the problem with those tensioners. The spring is too tight and it puts too much pressure on that shoe. And the shoe being soft, the stock shoes being soft, just eats right through them. And so you can keep the original springs as long as you want to. They're not going to wear out. And you'll see when you ever try to take one out, you're like, golly, man, this thing's tight. Well, that was the problem with them. They're just, the springs are too tight. So it's certainly fine to reuse those springs. Uh, can you chrome fork lowers at home? I guess you could. I don't know. I've never done it. They might chrome paint in a can, rattle can. I guess you could dip them. I don't know. I would not get any chrome inside the tubes. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could chrome them at home. I've never attempted chroming or powder coating or anything like that. I've got a really good powder coater that I use for even frames. He can accept, he's got a big thing booth that it can slide frames in. And I found him. He's out in Liberty, really great guy, and cheap. Gosh, he could charge more. Maybe he does now. I hadn't been out to see him in a couple of years, but he does furniture, like outdoor furniture. So he's got a big booth that he can slide, outdoor furniture in. So it works out good. He's done rims for me. He's done frames for me. He's done parts for me, and really good guy, really quick turnaround time. It's just in Liberty, which is a good hour from me, but it's worth the drive, and it's a nice, fun ride out there. Great. Koyo, thank you. Koyo is the brand of the bearings that are, I think, either Koyo bought Timken or Timken bought Koyo. They're one and the same now. Second chance. I appreciate all and everyone being a part of the channel, including Kevin and the family. I've got to get back to my college work. God bless you all. Thank you, Second Chance, for stopping by. I hope you have a blessed week, and I hope you make straight A's. Ordered Timken, got Koyo. Okay, you're fine. They're the same. I ordered Koyo last week and got Timken. So it's okay. They're the same thing. I watch a lot of videos and I see a lot of people's lifters going bad. Is this something that you should really look out for when replacing these things or consider changing? Uh, a lifter going bad, you'll hear it. Um, it'll be, lifter, when a lifter goes bad, it will either collapse on you, so there will be a ton of up and down lash in the push rod, and it'll sound very, very ticky, and you'll know when you get in there and the lifter's down and it won't come up. You'll know as soon as you just pull the keepers off the push rods and pull the tubes up, the push rod tubes up, and get your fingers in there. If it's off lobe and it'll go up and down, you know it's a bad lifter. Hopefully, and it's not nothing broke up in the top of the rocker arms. Other times you can pull the lifters out, which we're going to be doing on the '04 Fat Boy, and you can inspect the rollers and for the side play, and you can actually look to make sure the tensioner is up, and you'll know it when it bleeds down as well, or when you're installing the push rods, because when you install the adjustable push rods, you have to bleed it down, the lifter down. Another thing is a lifter can stick, but I've never seen a lifter stick in a Harley. It's usually on cars that have sat for years and years and years. Um, so oftentimes you'll see a lifter collapse before you'll see one that sticks. If a lifter sticks, you're going to have bent push rods or bent valves. So you're going to have major issues if the lifter sticks, and you will have a motor that sounds like it's about to explode. So if you got a ticking noise, that's a good thing. You've caught it in time. If you got a noise that sounds like the motor's about to jump out of the frame and explode on your leg, then you've got big problems. You're going to be going in top end, hoping nothing's damaged, and we're probably replacing push rods as well, and lifters, and maybe even a cam and cam bearings. Oh gosh, it's expensive. So just inspect them when you pull them out. We're going to be pulling the cams out, so the lifters will be coming out, and we're just going to inspect them and look at them. Now, the '04 Fat Boy had 54, right at 54,000 miles. So once we get in there, it might be something that we say, oh, okay, let's get lifters. We just don't know yet. Almost missed the live, but we'll watch the replay. Well, thank you, old man Joe. I appreciate that. Kevin Hogan, I was lucky and got rid of those chain tensioners. So I was lucky, got rid of those chain tensioners, put on cam gears on my '06 Heritage Softail Classic. If you can afford it, and I sold my trailer to do it, I highly recommend it. Bike run's great. Yes, you can run gears, get rid of those tensioners, which is fabulous if you're going to keep the bike because it is expensive, very expensive. And you have to check the run out on the end of your pinion shaft as well. So you got to make sure that your bike can even accept gears. That's important. If you don't check that run out and it's out of spec, which is a very low tolerance, then when you go to put them gears in, those gears are going to collapse or they're just going to beat on each other. And that's going to cause lockup issues, just major issues. So please, please, please check your run out. There's mics that you can buy at Harbor Freight pretty cheap. I got one from Harbor Freight, and they're magnetized and they got clamps, and you put it on there and then rotate the motor over and just make sure that you're within the tolerance to do um, gear timing. Kevin Hogan, I did the same on my '05 Ultra. Awesome. I think the last gear set that I put in was on a '06 maybe, an '06 Ultra Glide, I believe. If you were to get an aftermarket cam plate, a tensioner set altogether, would you go with S&S or one of the other brands out there? I would do S&S or Screaming Eagle. S&S will be more affordable for you, and as far as quality, they are great. So I would not do anything. Now, I think Fueling now offers cam plate upgrades, but I've never used them, so I can't speak on them. So do your own research on that. Where's my hair going? Do your own research on that. But S&S is what I use and I trust. Or if you want to go all out, go Screaming Eagle because they're Harley brands and they will warranty those. Good to see you on. Hope you are doing well. I am. Thank you, Scorpion. Everything's well here on the Butler Hill. So I get a bit of tick on my Evo when it gets warm. Thinking I should have added rocker lockers, but Evos are a bit noisy to start with. Yep, they are. And on the Evos, if you've got an oil temp gauge, I would check that out. Maybe your oil is getting a little too hot and too thin when it gets hot, and you're just getting thin oil. Could be that. If you don't have an external oil cooler, you might want to think about adding that, and that might take your tick away because you'll keep your oil a little bit cooler. The shovel heads are bad about that, overheating. Well, not overheating, but just getting hot and the oil gets thin and you get a tick. All right, PCO Bob, as I understand it, HD has dropped the Road King this year. What? No way. Why would they do that? God, they took the Sporty away. Now they're dropping the Road King. Wow. Oh man, Joe, thanks. You're welcome. I haven't heard of that. I haven't heard of that. Is there anything I need to keep an eye on working on the '94 Sportster and Road King? Uh, no. I mean, bikes are made to be ridden. So if they haven't run in a while, you're just going to have to go through all the major checks and might have to do some upgrades on some things. But no, nothing. If they took care of the bikes really well, there should be minor issues with it that you have to replace or upgrade or repair. Um, so no, I wouldn't suspect anything out of the ordinary with those. '94 was a great year for the Sportsters, and a '94 Road King would have the Evo motor with the 5-speed. So I think they offered it in the 5-speed back then. Maybe it might have the 4. I'm not sure. But yeah, everything should be fine. I've got a video on what to do when you buy a Harley, a used Harley, and 20-point kind of inspection that I go through. That might be helpful for you if you want to look that up. I have a question about a new cam I want to put in. My Evo has a Screaming Eagle 11 with 10-to-1 Screaming Eagle pistons, and now I want to install a Woods W6 cam. Would my compression be too much? Oh, that's a good question. I would call Woods and ask them. They might have you. They offer cams for a 10-to-1. They might have you go with a different cam that they offer. I don't know if I would run a 6 in a 10-to-1. Hmm. Yeah, I would call them if you want to run Woods and ask them. They would know more than I would. Now I don't want to tell you wrong and then it not work out for you because once you slide a cam in, buddy, it's yours. You've bought it. uh, Deuce says, okay, thanks. All right. It has not been an hour and 20 minutes. What? I'm having so much fun. This is awesome. Oh, hey, I really appreciate you taking a Sunday evening away from whatever you're doing and hanging out with me. I really appreciate that. And I miss being out in the shop with you. So hopefully we'll be able to hang out in the shop here soon once it warms up a little bit, or we catch just a warm Sunday and it happens to line up. And that way I can walk you around the shop. I mean, literally, I had to get a bike on the lift the other day. I had to move 5 bikes to do that. So we are packed to the gills. I think we've got 20. Well, it's live. I've done said it now. She's saying, "Shh." We got security and we got cameras and we'll have dogs here soon. Waffles. I miss Waffles. She would have by now would have been a good dog. A good dog. But yeah, we've got 20 over 20 bikes in the shop right now. So um, we've got a lot going on. And I want to show you everything, but I can't. So sorry about that. Scorpion, I ran a compression test on it and it was 175 psi. Sweet. That's great compression. Um, Scorpion, thank you for answering my question. Well, I appreciate that. I hope I helped. I just don't want to tell you wrong. Don't want to tell you wrong. Okay, folks, I'll give you another just second to put your questions down. I know there's a lag in here. And if there's no more questions popping up, I really appreciate you hanging out with me and we'll sign off here. I'm in no hurry. I can sit here and jaw as long as you want to listen, as long as your ear holes are up to it. I love our Sunday night lives and hanging out and doing it. Thank you for the information or for the informative live. Well, I don't know if it was informative, but it was live. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I know that some content creators on YouTube, they would just do lives for like their members and stuff like that. But I always like doing the lives, for everybody so that everybody gets a chance to hang out and talk and just, you know, shoot the breeze. Good chat tonight. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I always worry. I'm like, well, what if nobody says anything? What if nobody wants to hang out? So it's good to see folks on here typing and conversating. Uh, I hope that as YouTube, um, keeps doing cooler stuff, that we're able, that you guys don't have to type. Maybe, you could be on here like a Zoom meeting kind of, and then I could just click your face or your camera and then you could talk. That'd be cool. I don't know if that'd ever work on YouTube or not, but that'd be cool. I did get invited by YouTube to some new live thing that they're doing, and my channel was selected to test it out. It's like a 6-week training thing. So I'm in that, but I just don't know yet what it's going to be. But if it's new, we'll try it out and we'll see how it works. Okay, let's see. You have inspired me to start learning to wrench on my own bike. Thinking about purchasing a motorcycle lift. What's the best way to load it safely? I can't believe you asked that question. Okay, there is no safe way to load a bike on any motorcycle lift that is offered today. So I have been scratching my head. I have talked to my boys, my two sons, that work in metal fabrication, and we are designing a motorcycle lift that is the safest you'll ever put a motorcycle on a lift. As I'm getting older myself and I'm out in the shop by myself, the most dangerous part of a motorcycle lift is getting the bike on and getting the bike off. I've seen it, and you've probably seen it, videos of people forgetting to put the kickstand up, and you got to run with the bike, get momentum, and the kickstand's down, and I've seen it kick the bike over on the other side, and oh, catastrophe. Or getting it off, and you've been working underneath the bike, and even if you move the center stand, there's oil there, and I'll hit the front brake, and the bike actually the front tire slides off the lift. Very dangerous because if you were leaning it too far, it could slide out from under you. The most dangerous part of a motorcycle lift of anybody that makes them is getting the bike on and getting the bike off. On the lifts that I've got, you cannot ride the bike on by yourself. And actually, with any lift, you can't do that because you ride it on and then how are you going to keep it up and then try to get off the bike and balance it? So we are designing a lift that will let you put that bike on the lift without you being involved in it. So if it just works for me, it's a success. So it might be something I told my boys, hey, this might be a business y'all can start because if you can figure this out, everybody will want to lift like that. So we're actually working on that. I'm glad you asked that. So hopefully I can tell you more about it soon because I've been thinking about it, pondering on it. I think I've got something worked out that will work really good for a person that's by themselves. Now, yes, you can take your shop or wherever you're working and dig a hole and set the lift down in there so that when you put the lift down, if it's by a foot pedal or if it's by an airbag, it'll be flush with the floor. But you still have to roll that bike or ride that bike up on there. And then if you have to repair the lift, you got to pull that lift out of that hole and work on it and repair it. And what a mess that is. Um, Kevin Baxter, I don't know if you know of his channel or not. I think he's got close to 100,000 subscribers, big channel. And he had a catastrophe with one of his handy lifts, and it's worth watching. It wasn't a manufacturer default, it was a move in the lift user error. And he shows that. But the lift didn't fail for him until he was getting a bike off, I believe, and the lift and the bike fell. So, and he talked about the most dangerous part of of using a lift is getting the bike on and getting the bike off. 9 of the 10 bikes I put on the lift don't run. So it's not like if I had a wider lift, I could just ride it up there and it lock in a wheel chock. It's not like that in most places. If you're getting a bike on the lift, 9 times out of 10, it needs work and it's not going to run. So I'm working on it. And I think I've come up with something I think that I'll be able to show you hopefully this year that can work. So I'm glad you asked that. Nobody's asked me that before, and it's been rolling around in my brain, uh, and I think it's going to be a good thing. Thank you for answering my questions. You got a thumbs up, and I am subscribed. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm happy to hang out with you, and welcome to the YouTube family. We got the best family on YouTube ever. The sweetest comments, genuine, good-hearted people that loves wrenching, loves bikes, loves hanging out in the shop. My kind of people. Good luck with the lift project. Thank you, Black Hog. And if it's a success for me, I'll probably reach out to a couple of shops and offer them the lift for free and let them use it and get feedback and stuff before we would send in for patents and manufacturing and all that. But I told my boys this would be a great business for y'all if we figured it out and people by themselves, no matter their age, could safely get a bike on and off without having to physically get involved in it. Build a better mousetrap. That's exactly what I'm doing. Because listen, I'll tell you, these bikes they're making today, they are heavy bikes. That old five, that 15 low boy, it's a heavy bike. And well, actually getting in and on the lift, you got to get momentum to get it the front up. It's pretty easy, but then getting that back up, I mean, whew, I pushed and pushed. I had to back it back up and go and get at it again. It's an issue on all lifts, and we need to fix it. And I think I got a solution. So hopefully more about that soon. Have you ever seen some walk the bike on the ramp with the motor and the clutch? Don't do that. I've seen people try that and they'll trip or stumble and let go of that clutch or accidentally hit that throttle too much and the bike jumps over the front of the ramp and destroys it. You're rebuilding forks at that point. You're putting a new gas tank on because you it's laid it over and didn't. Don't do that. Do not do that. That is very dangerous. That's more dangerous than you pushing it on the bike physically. Um, I've seen that video popped out of the locks. Yeah. Yeah, it did when they were moving it. They moved it wrong. And yeah. And he didn't realize it had come out of the locks. And then when I think he was getting a bike off or putting a bike on or something, it went like whoop, crazy. So yeah, we're going to fix that. Hopefully, we're going to fix that. I've got an idea. It should work. It should be awesome. So, and I'm hoping that I can make the better mousetrap to where it would fit a variety of motorcycle lifts, meaning I wouldn't have to really design a new lift, just the apparatus to get you to get the bike on and off the lift safely. And you could put it on whatever lift you got. So that'd be cool. Okay, well, I've jabbed enough. I've said things I probably shouldn't have. My wife's still here. She looks tired. She looks hungry. Are you hungry? You can't be eating this late anyway. Did you eat while you took daughter to practice? No? Okay. All right. So thank you all so much. Y'all been so good to me, and I hope to keep improving the channel, putting out banger videos of us just hanging out in the shop and working on some cool stuff. A winch and a chalk. Sort of, but not. So I think my idea will work. I'll try it out. I've got an extra lift that I'm going to fabricate on and work on. That'll be the guinea pig, and I'm sure it'll go through 4 or 5 different revisions. But with my boys' help, and they've got a background in metal fabrication and blueprinting and designing, I think with their help, we'll be able to get something good, reliable, dependable that would last. So that's my plans. We'll see how it goes. Man, I got enough stuff to do, but if they get involved, they can do the grunt work of it, and maybe we can make something safer for everybody. And safer is always better, unless you're on a chopper, then safety's out the window. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll do this again next month, something we try to do every month. And be sure to get in on that giveaway because I paid a lot for it. I want you to have it. So sign up and get in on that and hope you win it. And then we'll be doing another one. Hopefully at 25K, I'll be in a better spot for my channel financially and it won't hurt so much. I'll be able to do it. Uh, Scorpion, are you doing an Amazon? Oh, you're doing an amazing job. Sorry. Quit laughing at me. You're doing an amazing job with your YouTube videos. Keep them coming. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We've come a long way. We've come a long way. I'm telling you, back when I first started, many times I told my wife, I don't think I'm going to do the YouTube stuff anymore. It takes so much time. 30 people are watching my videos. It's never going to be what, you know, it's never going to make it worth what I'm putting into it. But then I just kept doing it and I got more consistent on Friday videos. And people just started watching and you guys started commenting and you guys were sharing and you folks were just supporting me. And there were some subscribers and members that if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be sitting here right now talking to you. I would have quit. And I'm so happy I didn't quit. So listen, if you've got a YouTube channel, don't quit. Keep doing it. And do it consistently. Don't overboard it, but just be faithful. And if people like you, they like you. If they don't, they just don't. And that's okay. That's okay. So Rick says it was a great live tonight. Really enjoyed it. Very informative. Thank you, Mr. Rick. So kind of you. I think somebody's here that wants to pop in. Is it okay, Mama? You want to come over and say bye? She likes to always say what I say at the end of my videos. This is Decca. So look right, see that green light right there? Look at it. And what do I always say at the end of my videos?
Tell your mom and them that I said hi.
Ah, that's perfect. Perfect. All right. Y'all have a good night, and I'll catch you on the next live. Be looking for that M8 catastrophe, putting in the twin cam motor. We fixed it. It's awesome. The customer's coming to get it tomorrow. And that'll be for our members. It should be available. It's already on YouTube, but it should be available for you tomorrow. And then for everybody else, it'll be public Friday. And then we'll get the 04. No, we'll get the 95 anniversary. I'll start on it tomorrow. And that'll be that next Friday. And then the 04 Fat Boy should be scheduled for that next Friday. So hang tight. There's a lot coming. And I think we're going to have a good year. And I thank you. It's all because of you. It really is. And I don't say that lightly. Thank you so much. Oh, 3 crosses. Wonderful. Thank you. And good night, Kevin and family. Thank you, Black Hole Garage. I appreciate y'all so much. Anytime you want to reach out to me, I'm here. Just drop me an email or comment or whatnot. Really appreciate it. Have a good night. God bless you all. Talk to you soon.